So if it's your first time here, kindly show me some love by liking this video. So in this video, we're going to look at what Traoré is saying in relation to African unity. So Traoré is lamenting so much and putting pressure on African Union to make sure they have to play a role in making Africa great again. How? By uniting African countries. Traoré is insisting on the fact that Africans and Africa as a continent has the youngest population in the world. Yet, ironically, Africa is the poorest continent in the world. The continents which are performing well in terms of economy, they have the aged population. Why is it that they have the aged population, struggling with population, yet they have the strongest economy in the world? So let's have a look at this video, what Traoré is saying. Then when we come back, we can analyze the video further. So please keep this video and give it a like, share it with your friend, and let's watch what Traoré is saying. Then let's come back and analyze the video further.
Many countries have launched programs to rejuvenate their populations. Africa is fortunate yet to have a very young and growing population. But why isn't Africa developed? So we should take a closer look at this question to understand why. Africa has a young population and yet it is not developed, while the countries that call themselves developed are trying to make their populations younger. We must therefore succeed in turning our youth into a real asset and a driving force for development on our continent. And to achieve this goal, we need system integration. We also require robust security measures alongside development practices. We need to unite. Of course, you will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists. But what is the effect of the African Union in reality? We cannot talk about integration in this context without mentioning the African Union, because it is this organization that should unite us, that should create real integration. But we regret to see these wars that persist on the African continent, that kill millions of young people, and that this organization, which has heads of state and armies, is unable to organize itself to support certain countries. Union is not just a word. Union is a symbol. And we, the youth, should learn a lesson from this situation, to unite, to make integration a reality. I found myself feeling deeply and unpleasantly surprised to learn the fact that Ethiopia, which currently serves as the primary host for the main headquarters of the African Union, was experiencing a conflict, and when I saw the Prime Minister take up arms and announce the closure of the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat, I did not see any action from the African Union to protect its headquarters. Most Western states, seeing Addis Ababa about to fall, packed up and left. Ethiopia fought, found an internal solution, and today lives more or less in peace. For many tragic years now, children in the Congo have been dying. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the forces and all the necessary strategies to support these states so that they could regain peace. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the stage for international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem.
The African Union is a toothless bulldog. Toothless bulldog. Why? Because of the fact that they are saying what they don't implement. And for sure, look, African Union had a meeting a month ago. And something funny, Traoré never attended the meeting. Traoré was never given the platform to attend the meeting. He never made a speech in the meeting, the African Union, when they were assembled in Addis Ababa. The main reason is the African Union as a body, they think that Traoré is not democratically elected. Well, we can even say that's okay because he came into power through coup. But you see, what Traoré is doing in Africa is very, very much visible and is being embraced by nearly all Africans. So him not being given a platform to talk about Africa in the African Union was somehow not okay, even though according to the charters of the African Union, so if a president is not democratically elected, he cannot be given power to speak to other fellow African leaders. Now, I love the fact that Traoré is seeing this. And the main reason why even Traoré and the Sahel state, when I talk about the Sahel state, I'm talking about Niger, I'm talking about Mali, I'm talking about Burkina Faso. The main reason why they came out of ECOWAS was because they saw that ECOWAS was not doing so much when it comes to the security of the Sahel region. So they had to break out of ECOWAS, come out of ECOWAS, form their own bloc, a NATO-like alliance to combat terrorist activities. So even though Traoré was not democratically elected in Burkina Faso, he's doing marvelous job for Africa. He is speaking thousands of voices to African leaders. And mind you, most of African leaders who are democratically elected, they are not performing up to our expectations for we as Africans. They are not performing up to our expectations. Something that Traoré is even surpassing the Burkinabe's expectations. This guy is doing an amazing job. So actually in my next video, what I'll be doing, I'll be showing all of the projects that have been done by Traoré since 2026. And you'll realize when it comes to development, I can rank him as the first leader in Africa when it comes to development, because he's trying to put Burkina Faso to another level as far as development is concerned. A lot of changes are happening in Burkina Faso. And mind you, even though these changes are being happening, Traoré is doing this out of the country's coffers. Most of these developments are not done by loans from the banks. No. Most of these developments, they are done by money that is coming from the country's coffers, the Faso Mebo initiative. This is money that is collected by the government from the Burkinabes or Africans of goodwill who want Burkina Faso to prosper. So they give this money to the government, and the government uses this money for economic development. So in a nutshell, what Traoré is saying is this: do what you say. It is the responsibility and the mandate of the African Union to make sure that Africa as a continent is united. Africa must trade against each other. We must trade against each other. Our borders have to open up. We have to do away with tariffs and non-tariffs barriers, which are hindering growth and trade within African region. So this is the point that Traoré is trying to highlight, and is saying that we as Africans must realize our potential. We are punching below our weight for so long. It is time that we as Africans should unite. And mind you, I normally give out this example. Even though we have the African Union, a collection of so many African leaders, sometimes I think that these leaders can come to Burkina Faso or can go to the Sahel region, benchmark what the Sahel region is doing, then they can come and implement to the rest of African countries, because the Sahel region is moving forward in terms of development. They are moving forward in terms of unity. Of late, they're thinking about coming up with a single currency. And that is development that we as Africans want. You can imagine the Sahel region having a single currency, having a same passport. These are some of the things that we as Africans should be talking about. And we have to give part to the Burkina Faso's president for the role that he's playing. He's trying to take this continent to another level in matters development. It's only because of the copyright issues I could have played this video, a whole of it. And some of the things that he's highlighting in the video is The main reason why he's cooperating with China and Russia, for example, it's because Russia and China, they are offering favorable economic environment. It's all about give and take, not take. No, that is why they are favoring Russia and China when it comes to trade. China and Russia, they are willing to sell any technology to the Burkina Faso government. That is what we as Africans want. We don't want a leader who is self-centered. No, we want passionate leaders who love their countries, who love our continent, and who wants to see Africa growing to another level. That is all that we as Africans want. So thank you guys. Thank you for showing up in this video. So if it's your first time, just subscribe to this channel, and we meet next time. Thank you and bye-bye.